It is with great pleasure that I introduce Dr. Nitin, a distinguished academic and researcher. Dr. Nitin is currently serving as Assistant Professor in the Department of Marine Biotechnology at Gujarat Biotechnology University. Dr. Nitin's academic journey focused on exploring marine microbial enzymes to produce biofuels from seaweeds, followed by designing innovative biorefinery processes to extract valuable products from a green seaweed. This work laid the foundation for his future research and positioned him as a forerunner in the field. His academic pursuits have taken him far and wide, from his role as a guest researcher at the University of Messina in Italy to a postdoctoral fellowship at the Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai, where he optimized seaweed growth and bioproduct extraction. His expertise was further recognized with the prestigious DST Inspire Faculty Fellowship, which enabled him to continue his research work and teach a variety of subjects. Dr. Nitin's dedication to marine biotechnology is evident in his prolific output: 28 publications in high-impact journals, 2 patents, and numerous fellowships, including awards from DST, UGC, and CSIR, as well as research positions in Israel, Canada, Portugal, and Italy. His work has not only expanded the scientific knowledge, but also positioned him as a global thought leader, frequently invited to speak at conferences. Today, we are privileged to hear from Dr. Nitin, who will share his insights on the scope of marine macroalgae as a source of functional foods. I'm confident this presentation will be enlightening and inspiring. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Nitin. Dr. Nitin, please feel free to share the screen and start your presentation. Dr. Nitin, you are on mute.
Thank you, Marin, for a nice introduction. So I'm just sharing my slide. I hope it is visible.
Yes, perfect.
And I'm audible as well.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So at the outset, I would like to thank Arul and other organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my experience on seaweed research from the abroad, including Stephen Kran and my own PhD supervisor, Dr. C.R.K. Reddy. So the title of my talk today is a scope of marine macroalgae as a source of functional food. So before starting my talk, I would like to introduce about my university. So it is very interestingly, India's first dedicated biotechnology university establishment by the government of Gujarat in partnership with the University of Edinburgh. So we are offering MSc and PhD in different domains of the biotechnology, including animal biotech, environmental biotech, industrial biotech, medical biotech, plant biotech, marine biotechnology, and bioinformatics. So this is a kind of a sector-specific university situated in the capital of the state of the Gujarat in India. Yeah, so I always, think that whatever sustainable development goals we are discussing, whether these are the goals or problems which are created by us, and now we are, finding the solutions for it, right? So as we know that the today's current population of the world is around 7.6 billion, and which is expected to increase by 9.8 billion by 2050. And this increase in population will lead to the increase in the demand of food, water, oil, and different sources. So when we talk about the food, so there are chances to get, the demand may increase by 100%. So in this scenario, there is a need of the hour, to shift our focus from terrestrial resources to the marine resources for food, energy, feed, and biochemicals. And as of now, that the seaweeds can play, a potential roles to fulfilling these demands. My presentation is, more for the students who wants to be in the, they want to pursue their career in the field of seaweeds, because very few students, they taken up seaweeds as a career source. So I think the presentation will include all the, basic introduction about the seaweeds, then my research journey in the seaweeds, and the potential of seaweeds as a source of the functional food. So, when we talk about the seaweeds, they are classified into the three types, as all the speakers have already informed: rhodophyta, phaeophyta, and chlorophyta. And interestingly, 2 weeks ago, government of India, they have implemented a policy on the Bio E3 policy. It is a biotechnology for economy, environment, and employment, with 6 thematic sectors. So here you can see the sector 2, functional food and smart protein, is one of the thematic areas, and the last one is the futuristic marine and space research. So this is a very interesting, move or action taken by the government of India to work in this direction. And I believe, that now the seaweed sector in India, which is not, much progressed as of now, but after this policy, the research in this seaweed sector or algal sector will increase. So as I said, they are photosynthetic aquatic organisms, multicellular and marine habitats, and classified into the phaeophyta, chlorophyta, and rhodophyta based on their morphology and pigmentation. When we talk about the composition of the seaweeds, they are different from the terrestrial biomass because they have a high water content. But apart from that, they are good source of the carbohydrates, both structural carbohydrates and the storage carbohydrates, followed by the proteins, ash, and lipid contents. So when we talk about the carbohydrates, they are good source of the sulfated polysaccharides like ulvan, carrageenan, agar, laminarin, and the concentration is up to the 60% depending on the type of seaweeds. Similarly, they are a good source of the micro and macro elements and the proteins. So nowadays, the proteins, they are looked as a source of the smart proteins, as Stephen Kran, Stephen also discussed in their presentation that algae has a potential to become a source of the smart proteins. Though the seaweeds have a low lipids, but they are rich in the omega-3 fatty acids, so it can be a good source of the nutrition. So when we talk about the seaweed market, it has tremendously increased, in the past decades. In 2022, the global production of the seaweeds were found to be around 36 million tons of the fresh wet biomass, and with estimated market value of around 16.5 billion US dollar, which is expected to increase by 22 billion US dollar in 2024. And depending on the type of presence of their bioactive components, as they are a good source of the proteins, vitamins, minerals, dietary fibers, polyphenols, polysaccharides, sterols, okay, and EPA and DHA. So they have a range of the applications, starting from the as a source of the biostimulants, feed, food, cosmetics, nutraceutical, pharmaceutical, and other value-added products. Okay, so seaweeds are now identified as a new superfoods because they are a good source of the proteins. They are low in fats and sodium. They are high in fibers and omega-3 fatty acids, both soluble and insoluble fibers. They are a source of a good bioactive components. They are rich in antioxidant and iodine. They have a high potassium, iron, and folic acids, and they are a good source of the vitamins. That's why if you can see in these slides, a different edible or nutrient-rich seaweed species from all rhodophyta, phaeophyta, and chlorophyta have been named or enlisted. So as the topic is on the scope of seaweed as a food alternate, the seaweeds has a long history. In the 4th century in Japan and the 6th century in China. Then the oldest documented use of the seaweeds for human consumptions date back to the 12,000s BCE from Chile. 21 different species of the edible seaweeds and their preparation were described in the Japanese Chinese dictionary dated 934 CE. Okay, so long back. And the 40 species of the seaweeds were eaten in Hawaii in different forms. And currently, the seaweed production is, as we know, that it is mainly dominated by the Asian countries, including China, Indonesia, Korea, Japan, Philippines. And but now, apart from these Asian countries, it is a part of the daily diet in different European countries as well. So it is very well known that due to the presence of different bioactive components like proteins or lipids or hydrocolloids, they have a range of applications starting from beverages, confectionaries, in processed meat, ice creams, chocolates, capsules, and different pet foods. And nowadays, the concept of after the introduction of the concept of smart proteins, now the researchers are also interested to explore the protein applications for the alternate meat productions. These are the some seaweed fruit products which are available in the markets in different forms. In the forms of chips, nuri, this sheets are available, and capsules are available. So this is just for the students which have no idea that whether it is possible to make products out of the seaweeds. So it is a very well established area from the seaweeds. So when we talk about the India and seaweeds, we are blessed with the 7,500 kilometer long coastal line with 844 species reported from the India. And when we talk about the edible seaweeds, the ulva, monostroma, colorepa, porphyra, they are identified from the India. And for phycocolloids like agar and carrageenan, red and brown seaweeds have also been identified. And in last decade, surprisingly, the seaweed based industries have now also come into the market, and many more startups are in the queue or pipeline, which are making products from the seaweeds. So I have started working with the green seaweeds. As I said that I worked under the guidance of Dr. C.R.K. Reddy. So he gave me, to work on the green seaweeds because it has a higher growth rate and biomass production. It is an opportunistic species because it can grow, in the form of tide when there is a presence of the NNP, and there at that time there was no direct utilization as compared to the brown and red seaweeds, and no fuel versus hydrocolloid debate. So I started working on the green seaweeds, and then initially I worked on the different bioprospecting of the seaweeds, so starting from the biofuel production, mainly the bioethanol production from the green seaweeds. So the cellulose was extracted and it was hydrolyzed, to produce the ethanol through the process of fermentation. Then I have also worked on the seaweed biorefinery. So the fresh green seaweed biomass was processed using different methods to extract the products of different products, including the mineral-rich liquid extracts, lipids, cellulose, and pulvan, which can be used for different industrial applications. I also worked on the seaweed polysaccharide derived films, or you can say kind of a bioplastic. So the cellulose was converted into the carboxymethyl cellulose through a chemical process, and the cellulose was dissolved in the ionic liquid because some of the ionic liquids are known to dissolve the cellulose, and the biofilm was prepared, and it was characterized, and it was also checked for the biodegradability. Apart from that, again, the cellulose was also explored for the paper and pulp applications. So this work, initially I have worked on the bioprospecting part. Then after PhD, I have shift my focus from bioprospecting or value addition of the biomass to the growth engineering or kind of a cultivation system to grow the algae. So I have joined ICT, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, and they were having a very superb infrastructure, state-of-the-art facility for algal cultivation, including both micro and macroalgae. So here you can see the setup was, the environmental chamber or laboratory was set up at the terrace of the center. The aim was to utilize the sunlight to optimize all the methods, growth optimization under the sunlight. So they have developed, a different type of reactor systems, just to optimize the growth to get the higher biomass productions. So as Dr. Reddy also discussed, about the protoplast production. So we have established the process, to generate the biomass from the ulva. So here you can see the fresh biomass of the ulva was chopped and treated with the enzymes to get the protoplast, and it will be transferred tanks, and after the growth in the this plate, it was transferred, scratched to the flask, and then transferred to the different polybag bioreactors or flat panel bioreactors. So at the end of the month, we were able to successfully grow the healthy ulva biomass from the protoplast. And I think these are the facilities where we have also worked on the different species like ulva and monostroma and their growth optimization. So these are the videos, but I doubt whether we'll be able to play or not. So the message I want to give you is that we have worked on different reactor system, land-based cultivation systems, and the facility were developed by the ICT Mumbai because in the team they were having a chemical engineering and the kind of biologist, biotechnologists. So we were able to design different systems, land-based cultivation systems for the growth of edible green seaweeds. This is another examples. For the first time, we have demonstrated the seaweed cultivation, ulva lactuca cultivation in the 3000 liter photobioreactor systems, and the patent was also filed, and I was one of the team member. Okay, so as we know that seaweeds are a good source of protein. So because they are a source of a good, they have all the essential amino acids. So in this table, if you can see, the comparison is given for essential amino acids of the microalgae, macroalgae, vegetables, and animals. So when we compare the essential amino acid profiling with other sources, the seaweeds found to have a good, essential amino acids. And this content, inspire seaweed researcher to take it, seaweeds as a source of the smart proteins. Again, this is for the students, that if you have to extract the proteins, then what are the steps involved? So first we need to disrupt the cell walls, then the supernatant will be there, which will be rich in the proteins, and through different recovery or precipitation or purification methods, we can extract the proteins. Then we need to go for the pre-concentration and drying using different methodology, and the protein fractions can be supplemented with food for edible purposes. So when we talk about the macroalgae, green seaweeds and red seaweeds, they have a high protein content compared to the brown seaweeds, and that's why nowadays green seaweeds are gaining global importance as a source of the protein compared to the red and brown seaweeds, because it is easy to grow green seaweeds compared to the other seaweeds. Okay, so seaweeds can be used as a smart proteins. In this picture, you can see that these are the edible seaweeds which have a high protein content. So we can go for the protein extraction using different methodologies: solid liquid extraction, enzyme assisted extraction, microwave assisted extraction, ultrasound assisted, pulse electric field, osmotic, and homogenization, protein precipitation. So different methods are available. So depending on the type of seaweeds you are working on, you have to optimize the method to get the maximum protein out of the biomass, and after the protein extraction, you have to go for the amino acid profiling, and based on the amino acid profiling, you can design the application of the proteins in different food industry. Okay. So, being a professor in the university, we also have to teach students, master students, that that how any ocean resources or any biomass can be translate into the industry, starting from the laboratory. So here I gave an examples of the how to establish a successful marine biotech industry. So first we need to identify the ocean resources. Okay, so it involves your screening and selection of the commercially imported organisms. It can be microbes, it can be algae. Then we have to optimize the growth parameters to get the maximum biomass production. After that, we'll be able to develop the proof of the concept depending on the type of interest. We'll be ready with the proof of concept, and then we have to demonstrate into the pilot scale. Okay, and then we have to approach it into the industry that we are ready with the proof of concept, and it can be taken up further. So when we talk about the Indian, blue economy and revolution, India is a home to the 170 million people. And if we have a more and more marine biotech industry in future, so it will lead to the economic growth. It will also improve the livelihood of the people who are staying near the coastals, and ultimately it will lead to the employment generations. And for this, several funding sources are available. Government funding is available, private funding is also available. So I think after this, blue economy or blue revolution concept, and especially this bio E3 policy approved by the government of India 2 weeks ago, I think there is a bright scope, to accelerate this marine biotech industry in India. Okay, so I am also involved, with the smart protein. I have developed the smart proteins curriculum at GBU. So we have proposed one of the course as a smart proteins, and students have showed interest in this curriculum, and I was able to conduct lectures and introduce students about this new fields, which is the smart proteins. So I am associated with the Good Food Institutes in India, and they are annually that they are organizing India Smart Protein Innovation Challenge. So I am one of the judge or mentor in this activity. And here you can see the smart, very smart and school or undergrad students. They are now taking interest in the smart protein sectors, and they are, inspired, and they are trying to become entrepreneurs in this field. So algae, including both micro and macro algae, have a huge scope, in these smart protein sectors. So I think this is all from me for today's talk. Yeah, thank you. You have to unmute yourself, Marin.
Apologies. Thank you for a fantastic talk, and it's great to see the potential there for food ingredients, and of course great to hear as well that that the government is providing the support. It's critical for research. So is promising.